ending in divorce, many parents are left wondering how to co-parent effectively. Here to share her best advice is Gabriella Pomare, divorce lawyer and author of The Collaborative Co-Parent. Gabriella, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me today.
So you say that divorce doesn't have to mean a broken family on the other side. What does a successful divorce actually look like, and how can parents start to plan for that shift in dynamics?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think realistically, once you separate or divorce, the reality is you need to let go of the idea that a family can only exist under one roof. I mean, when separation happens, the structure changes, the dynamic changes, but the family doesn't have to fall apart. I mean, you can still show up to school concerts together, you can still celebrate birthdays in a different way, and you can still have that shared family commitment to raising your children. That's the whole point of co-parenting. So the difference really is now you're building a new version of your family, one that might have two homes, step parents, a blended family, new routines. And that's okay. I often tell parents, write your own new family rules, agree not to speak badly about each other, create a shared calendar, make sure your children see you both working as a team.
What are children experiencing when their parents separate? I mean, I know the answer. I was a child in a household where this happened. But I think for a lot of people, they lose sight of that. So what are children experiencing, and what do parents need to do to accommodate space for those feelings?
Yeah, I think the reality is a lot of parents forget that children are grieving as well and they're experiencing change. And parents often let their own emotions leak into that parenting space, even if they don't mean to. It might be that parents are sighing when the other parent's name comes up, an eye roll at changeover, or it might be that they're over explaining why the relationship ended, to have that child understand. But what parents forget is that often puts your child in a really impossible position. They might start to feel like they really have to protect you, or they might have to choose sides. I see it every day in my work and my own experience. So I think the best thing parents can do is really let their children have their own relationship with both parents and be okay with that. As a parent, with your own emotion, your grief, your conflict, take it to therapy, take it to a friend, journal. Don't put that on your child. When kids are freed from that adult emotion, they really get to be kids again. And that's the greatest gift I think you can give a child during your divorce or separation.
Well, as you mentioned, Gabriella, there can be a lot of pain and anger, hurt feelings. What does healing look like? And why is it important to try and get to that space before you can co-parent successfully?
It's a good question. I think healing really means processing your pain. It doesn't mean packing it up. A lot of people think I'm going to pack it up, and that then often gets brought into the co-parenting relationship. And it's often why parents engage in that heightened conflict when they do communicate. So you've got to grieve that version of your life you thought you'd have. I think you've got to forgive yourself. You may not always be able to forgive your ex, but in your own mind, you need to separate your ex as a partner in a romantic sense and start thinking of your ex as a parent, as that business-like relationship. And I think until you do that, every decision about the kids will still be coloured by that unresolved emotion, and that can be really exhausting for any person. So true healing, what it looks like, I think, is maybe being able to sit across from your co-parent at a changeover without your heart racing, without wanting to fight back and engage in conflict. It's about being able to send a message, about school fees or something like that, without always reading into the tone or the motive of the message. And I think it's about peace in the decision that you're no longer together in a romantic sense, but you're a family and you're rewriting how you do things. Not everything can be perfect, and you need to let go of the idea of the perfect family.
My last question here, we're almost out of time, but we're heading into the holiday season. This can be a tough time for families that are actively going through this, and a lot of them want to start the next new year off with a clean slate. Do you have any advice for people in this situation right now?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the holidays, they amplify everything, don't they? You got feelings of joy, but also loneliness and resentment, particularly if you've recently separated. For me, I think it's a really good time for a reset. So I think what you need to start doing is reflecting what worked over the last year. Maybe think about dropping the recurring arguments you've had. Try one small act of change, start offering a swap where you can be more flexible, share photos, say thank you. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends with your co-parent in the new year, but perhaps you start choosing peace, over the point scoring of who's winning and who's not. So I think a co-parenting reset is about deciding together or on your own terms that next year will be calmer. So give that gift over the holidays to your children of choosing a more peaceful co-parenting relationship for their sake.
Gabriella Pomare, author and divorce lawyer. Thank you so much. Your book is called The Collaborative Co-Parent. We are so grateful for your time. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.